Salinger here. Today we're going to talk about statutes. It's the last in the series. We're going to talk about the Rsed, or the refund statute expiration date. This particular statute is a little bit frustrating for taxpayers because the IRS has a certain amount of time where they're required by law to give you back your money. And that law is pretty basic. The refund can be provided or paid to the taxpayer as long as the return was filed within 3 years of the due date or within 2 years of the tax being paid. So what does that mean? So if a taxpayer files a return, let's say it's a 2018 tax return, and they don't file an extension. So we take 2018 was due April 15th, 2019. We go out 3 years from there. That means anything filed after April 15th, 2022, the IRS gets to keep that refund. Period. No questions asked. If you filed an extension, there is a little bit of disagreement among professionals whether or not the IRS can use the extended due date as the refund statute expiration date because the taxpayer didn't file. So there's a little bit of disagreement on both sides of the aisle on whether or not the IRS will honor the extended due date. They're supposed to, all of the code looks like they are, but apparently sometimes they're not. So it's questionable. So 3 years from when the original return was due or 2 years from when the tax was paid. And you may wonder, why does that matter? Well, if the tax was paid and then the refund statute expiration date that you're outside of that 3 years, maybe you had a balance due on the return and it took you 4 years to pay it. And then you come back and you realize, oh my gosh, I overpaid, and you amend the return, you're able to get back money that you paid within the last 2 years. So depending on what your refund is on the amended return and what the amount of tax that you paid in that 2 year will determine how much of that money you actually get back, if any. But that is the standard rule, is 3 years from when the original return was due or 2 years from when the tax was paid. So a lot of times, taxpayers that are non-filers kind of get hit in the gut with this particular rule, because in their mind, if they filed all the returns, the IRS would owe them money. And this is usually because some years they owe, some years they have refunds, and taxpayers net them, meaning they add the years they owe against the years they have refunds, and overall they are coming out ahead. Well, the way the IRS looks at it is if you filed those returns, some of those refunds, the IRS doesn't have to give you back anymore, which means they also don't go into the pool to determine if they can be netted against what you owe them. So if you file a return with a balance due that is beyond this, what we call the 3-year Rsed, you have to pay the tax. But if you file a return, another return that's outside of that Rsed, and you have a refund, the IRS gets to keep the money, but on the return you owe, you still have to pay. So it's kind of a double whammy. They don't have to pay you, but you have to pay them. And then they have your money from the year that you've basically forfeited or because it expired. So a lot of taxpayers get in trouble with that. They don't file these old returns because they think that they've got that money sitting there to offset the years that they owe, and it doesn't work that way. So if you have some refunds that you think may be expiring soon, either get those returns filed or get with a representative to see if it makes sense to file them, to see how that's going to impact your overall situation, because there's nothing more frustrating than having to pay tax on a year and then having to forfeit a refund on another year because you didn't file the return in time. Bites, that's the way the rules are. So don't forget, 3 years from when the return was due or 2 years from when the tax was paid, whichever is later. And that's going to allow the IRS to give you that money back in some form or fashion. So I hope that helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with all the IRS stuff that we got going on. And there's a lot going on with the IRS right now. In fact, we have a commissioner that's going to be replaced soon. We don't know how that's going to go. So stay tuned for that. But my number is also 501-725-2626. If you have if you have a situation and you kind of need some help, we have our 30-minute relief map session, and we kind of see where you are, where you need to go. Can we help? If so, what does that look like? Do you need help? If not, we kind of give you some guidance and get you on your way. But 30 minutes is all I need to know whether or not I can help you, whether or not you need help, and what you need to do next. Take care. I hope that helps. Bye for now.